All right, moving on to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from Nolan Unejo, who asked me to do a Patreon request involving kaiju films for beginners. Like, that's the whole thing, is like, what films would I recommend for people wanting to get into kaiju films? So, um, yeah. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link in the description box below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the second tier. That'll allow you access to do so, as well as check out all the stuff exclusively on that tier, as well as all the stuff on the first tier as well. But anyway, let's get started with the video. So, there's a lot of kaiju films, right? Like, there are just tons and tons of kaiju films to really, like, kind of pick out and choose as to what you'd really want to watch, right? Like, we can all agree that's kind of that's the general consensus. So, I just decided to have, like, a solid, because the other thing is, too, you have to really ask yourself, is what really counts as a kaiju film? I think that's another deciding factor, is that what exactly counts as a kaiju film? Because we go into that whole argument of, is Clifford the Big Red Dog a kaiju? Is the is Paul Bunyan considered a kaiju? It's really hard to, like, really nail that down, if I'm being honest. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So I'll throw out some ones that I would consider kaiju films, even though they're not technically called kaiju films. So for starters, as always, Godzilla 54. You know, Gojira, or you can just go with Godzilla King of the classic Godzilla King of the Monsters. I think that should be on everyone's starter list. Is either the American or Japanese version. I have an affinity for the American version, so you know, there's that. But if you really want to be all good with this, you can just go Gojira, the original Japanese cut. But it would be a crime not to have that in your starter. Like, that should be your first Godzilla. Like, Gojira, or the American cut of Gojira, should be considered, like, mandatory viewing if you want to start watching kaiju films. Now, it depends on if the person wants to read subtitles or not. Maybe start with King of the Monsters, and then if they want to get the full story, go to Gojira. That's up to whoever you're showcasing this to. That's going to be left up to you. But yeah, Gojira should be on that list. Also on that list should be King Kong, the original 1933 King Kong. That movie basically is the progenitor to, like, a vast majority of kaiju films, and it's also just a great piece of cinema in general. So you should at least watch the original King Kong, even if even if you don't want to watch kaiju films. If you are just considered, like, a cinemaphile, I would say, you know, King Kong, like 1933 King Kong, should be in your viewership, like, in your rotation regardless. So therein lie, you know, King Kong is another vital one. Now, for others, I would say, like, yeah, Godzilla King of the like Gojira, King Kong. Regardless of where you stand, those should be, you know, at least in the rotation. Now, as for other ones, I would personally recommend for kaiju films. I think Pacific Rim should be one. Yeah, Pacific Rim. If you want to have the person you want to watch this with wants to watch something fun, Pacific Rim is the go-to one for, like, something fun and also just a lot of fun action and great characters. Pacific Rim is one. The entirety of the MonsterVerse. If they don't want to, if the person you're showing this to, wants to watch something that is just not too deep, they don't want anything too deep, they just want to have fun with it, then I would definitely recommend the MonsterVerse on a whole. And that one's also pretty easy, too. Like, that one you can get a hold of really fast. So, I don't know how they feel about Godzilla 2014, but once you get to Kong Skull Island, it'll probably pick up from there. But, yeah, the entirety of the MonsterVerse and Pacific Rim should also be on that starter list. Now, for others, like some other fun ones we'll talk about real fast, I would dare say some other ones I would really some ones I would really also suggest for your kaiju viewership. Some 50s sci-fi, like Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. That one was also a important part of kaiju genre. Without that, we probably wouldn't have Godzilla. That's another thing. Like Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, that one's another great one, and also just a great stop motion movie. So Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. I would also say The Deadly Mantis, not considered a kaiju film, but it's a giant monster, so still works. Same with Tarantula. Tarantula would be another one I would suggest on this list. Is a definite, with a definite pick. That would that would be my go-to one, is to have that one. Yeah, 100%. That would be my Tarantula, and those are kind of it. If the person you're showing these to digs any of those, like that kind of variety, then you can go from there. But those are personally my picks for a kaiju starter set. Kaiju for beginners. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what are your picks for a kaiju films for beginners? Just comment below, let me know. Once again, I'd like to thank Nolan Unejo for this Patreon request, as well as continued patronage. And other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.